This is the highest number of bills passed by any single parliament within 1 year and 6 months.
Good governance boosted with presidential assent to 8 new bills.
The relationship between our two countries is so important for our countries as well as for the West African and African region.
Nigeria positions itself for mutually beneficial relations with incoming administration of Nana Akufo-Addo as Ghana's president. Plus, youth development in focus, a special edition of Town Hall Meeting, both in Abuja. Welcome to NTA Network News with me, Muhammad Kuda Abubakar. President Muhammad Buhari has signed into law 8 new bills passed by the National Assembly for good governance and effective service delivery in Nigeria's critical sectors. Senior Special Advisor to the President on National Assembly Matters, Solomon Itaenan, described the act as a significant demonstration of enhanced collaboration and cooperation between the executive and the legislature. State House correspondent Adamu Sambo reports.
The new acts of the National Assembly, as they are now called, include the National Judicial Institute Amendment Act, Utilities Charges Commission Amendment Act, Quantity Surveyors Registration Amendment Act, as well as the Small and Medium-Scale Industries Development Agency Amendment Act. Others are the Treaty to Establish African Economic Community relating to the Pan-African Parliament, Accession and Jurisdiction Amendment Act, University of Abuja Amendment Act, and the Chartered Institute of Stockbrokers Amendment Act. This is the second time President Muhammad Buhari is signing into law 8 bills passed by the National Assembly at a time in the last 2 months, which Senator Ita Enang described as significant.
This is the highest number of bills passed by any single parliament within 1 year and 6 months. The National Assembly has reasoned well and with the executive. They have shown industry and dexterity and the concentration on the core functions of the legislature.
The presidential aide also expressed optimism that the 2017 appropriation bill, now before the National Assembly, will be passed in good time for implementation.
I believe, like the presiding officers and the leadership and the membership have confirmed, they will give it priority. This bill will be faster processed because, like Mr. Senate President had stated in his address, there was a lot of consultations, minimizing the areas of disagreement.
The 7.3 trillion naira 2017 budget of recovery and growth was presented to the National Assembly by President Muhammad Buhari on the 14th of this month. From the State House, Adamu Sambo, NTA News.
Still at the State House, President Muhammad Buhari this Tuesday granted audience to the President-elect of Ghana, Nana Akufo-Addo, at the State House. State House correspondent Adamu Sambo reports that prospects for sustainable, mutually beneficial relations between Nigeria and Ghana under the incoming administration dominated discussions.
The President-elect of the Republic of Ghana, Nana Akufo-Addo, share many things in common with President Muhammad Buhari. Apart from being opposition party leaders, they both defeated sitting presidents of their respective countries after several attempts at presidential elections. Their discussions held behind closed doors for about 45 minutes can therefore better imagined. Details were not made public, but the incoming president of Ghana, Nana Akufo-Addo, spoke to newsmen.
I thought it would be a good idea to come and introduce myself to President Buhari, begin to know each other. The relationship between our two countries is so important for our countries as well as for the West African and African region. And I think that those of us who are in positions of leadership, the more we know each other and have an understanding of our main concerns, the better it is for the interests of our populations as a basis for growing the development of the ECOWAS region and the wider African continent. We have both been people struggling to get where we are today, so there's some kind of spirit between us.
Nana Akufo-Addo, aged 72, ran for Ghanaian presidential elections in 2008, 2012, and 2016. He will be inaugurated President of Ghana on the 7th of January 2017. From the State House.
Vice President Yemi Oshibajo says Nigerians must collectively create a nation where people are identified simply as citizens with equal rights to live and serve anywhere without discrimination. He stated this while declaring open the 2016 National Migration Dialogue organized by the National Commission for Refugees, Migrants and Internally Displaced Persons. State House correspondent Jide Onifade reports.
A minute's silence for people, mostly Africans, who have either died or are missing while trying to migrate to other parts of the world for greener pasture. As the Vice President views it, there must be a reduction of the human tragedies and human discomforts suffered by migrants.
Over 2 million internally displaced persons in Nigeria forced to migrate from their homes by the Boko Haram terrorist activity. Many are in camps, but the vast majority are in host communities. There are also internal migratory issues that have given rise to frictions in Nigeria. The so-called host communities and settler community issues, and the other fatal results of clashes that they produce.
The Vice President, who represents the President at the event, emphasizes the need to resist attempts to hide behind ethnic or religion to cause mayhem for selfish political and personal causes. Some of the participants comment.
It's a real demographic revolution going on today, and it is up to us to manage it for the benefit of all.
If we don't manage it well, others take advantage of it. And this is why you have serious problem of human trafficking.
And in order to plan, coordinate, and implement the common project and activities, a joint technical committee of Nigerian and Swiss experts has been established.
The overall objective of the National Migration Dialogue is to provide a platform for debating the impact and linkages between migration and development, and thereby shaping our national migratory orientation.
The dialogue is part of activities marking the International Migrants' Day 2016. In Abuja, Jide Onifade, NTA News.
The Gambian Coalition Party says it is optimistic that outgoing President Yahya Jammeh will ensure a smooth transition of power at the expiration of his tenure on the 19th of January 2017. The special envoy of President-elect Adama Barrow to Nigeria, Mai Fati, gave the indication in Abuja. Dele Atumbi reports.
Fati, who is a member of the coalition opposition party through which the president-elect won the 1st December election, said outgoing President Yahya Jammeh has the right to challenge the outcome of the election at the Supreme Court, a case that must be disposed of within 30 days. Fati, however, said the Supreme Court, which should adjudicate over the matter with at least a 5-member panel, has just one justice as at date. Fati said the incoming government will continue to honor and respect the rights of the outgoing president as a leader who has contributed his quota to the advancement of the Gambia.
Let me make it categorically clear. President-elect Barrow has never threatened anybody. He has never threatened President Jammeh. He has never made a statement anywhere, in any part of the world, in any media, that he is going to go after outgoing President Jammeh. That statement was never made anywhere.
The envoy commended the international community, especially ECOWAS, for its stand on the democratic process in the Gambia, as well as the nomination of President Muhammadu Buhari and the Ghanaian president as mediators in the transition process in Gambia. In Abuja, Dele Atumbi.
As democratic governance is consolidated across the African continent, Nigeria's democratic experience, especially in recent years, is fast becoming a reference point for many African countries, especially in electoral processes. It is in the light of this that officials of the Electoral Commission of Cameroon visited INEC Chairman Professor Mahmoud Yakubu with a view to replicating Nigeria's democratic tenets, as well as share ideas for further development. Ifeanyi Okafor has details.
The leadership of the Elections Cameroon seeks to open new frontiers on its electoral processes, with Nigeria's feet in focus, especially the voter registration exercise. Although Nigeria has not reached perfection in its electoral processes, but the successes attained so far has covered the loopholes in the past, and the elections are becoming more credible, with the electorate having more confidence in the system. Professor Mahmoud Yakubu further acknowledged the confidence of the Cameroonian authorities in Nigeria's electoral conduct with a view to learning and to share its experience towards having a desirable election in the continent. In Abuja, Ifeanyi Okafor, NTA News.
The Senate has reaffirmed its rejection of the nomination of Ibrahim Magu as the executive chairman of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, as a result of security reports from the Directorate of State Services, DSS. Chairman, Senate Committee on Media and Public Affairs, Senator Aliyu Sabi Abdullahi, emphasized these while addressing Senate correspondents on Tuesday. He explained that a clarification becomes necessary due to conflicting media reports on the issue. That was Aliyu Sabi Abdullahi, Chairman, Senate Committee on Media and Public Affairs, explaining the reasons that Senate still stands by its rejection of the nomination of Ibrahim Magu as chairman of the EFCC. The House of Representatives says it is working to ensure that federal government-owned development banks are repositioned for optimal performance. Chairman, House of Representatives Ad hoc Committee investigating the activities of these banks, Emeka Anohu, at a public hearing, says Nigeria's economy needs the banks to function effectively. National Assembly correspondent Ignatius Nko reports.
The investigative hearing seeks to find out why federal government-owned development banks have not functioned effectively to turn around the Nigerian economy. Chairman of the committee, Emeka Anohu, reminded the management of the development banks in attendance of their strategic role in economic development.
I therefore encourage all present, especially the industry players, to actively support us in getting the right solutions. We are here to know the truth about what has happened in the past in order to create a greater future for our great nation.
Bank of Industry and the National Economic Reconstruction Fund made presentations at the public hearing.
Up until 2007, when President Obasanjo left office, the infusion into BOI was just barely 10 billion naira, which was 10% of the envisaged takeoff amount.
Detailed breakdown of the loans granted by the bank from 1999 to date. We provide that information, and the total amount is 5.2 billion.
The ad hoc committee directed other development banks such as Central Bank of Nigeria, the Nigerian Export-Import Bank (NEXIM) to appear at a designated date to make their presentations. From the National Assembly, Ignatius Nko, NTA News.
The Federal Ministry of Information and Culture's Town Hall Meeting series continued in Abuja with a special edition dedicated to the Nigerian youths. Anthony Folsom reports.
Ministers of Finance, Power, Works and Housing, Labor and Employment, Agriculture, Youth and Sports, Minister of State for Budget and National Planning, all being led by the Minister of Information and Culture, Lai Mohammed, reeled out the scorecard of the present administration.
As many of you are undoubtedly aware, 200,000 jobs were created in the first phase of the Empower Volunteers program. This is perhaps the highest number of jobs that have been created in one fell swoop by any government in the history of our country.
Characteristic with the town hall meeting series, the youth engaged the ministers in a no-hold.
The minister assured the flying public that government is doing all within its power to ensure normalcy is restored. From Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport, Abuja, Edina Justice, NTA News.
The Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation, NNPC, is to embark on a comprehensive rehabilitation of the 3 refineries in the country to achieve optimal capacity utilization in 2017. Speaking at the annual general meetings of the 3 refineries in Abuja, Mr. Anibo Karaga noted that the move will curtail quick-fix approach and undertake a comprehensive revamp of the plants. He added that the Port Harcourt refinery is few steps away from commencing aviation turbine fuel ATK production for domestic consumption.
Tired of changing one fuel pump here, one compressor here. So what we are doing is we are taking a step back and looking at a holistic approach, going out and doing a full rehabilitation of all the refineries, including Warri. And we are hoping that over the next 24 months we can do that and bring it up to world-class standard performance. Thereafter, we can start doing the regular turnaround maintenance to keep the performance high.
Most of the challenges we've been having on Sim2C have been taken care of, as well as the promise of at least one cargo every month. And that is to say that we are going to have sufficient crude to be able to run at minimum 75%.
The managing director, Warri Refining and Petrochemicals Company, Engineer Solomon Lanigan, expressed optimism that the refinery will achieve full capacity production despite the hostile environment. You can watch this news live online via the NTA mobile app, which you can download on your Android device or at the Google Play Store at the Apple Store if you use devices with iOS. Still to come, federal government moves to contain bird flu outbreak in Kano, and the Inspector General of Police Ibrahim Idris talks tough on political killings. Details after these messages.
Do you know that importing consumables and domestic products kill local manufacturing and negatively affect the growth of the economy? That some imported products are dangerous to your health? That building factories can generate massive employment and grow the economy? Buying locally made products and services means investing back in the economy. Thousands of Nigerians are innovative and can take Nigeria to the next level. Growing the economy starts with you and I. Raise the standard. Grow the economy. Buy made in Nigeria.
Whenever pain occurs, you want quick relief. Try new Nurofen Express. It goes to the source of pain and gets to work in under 15 minutes. That's why Nurofen Express delivers fast and effective relief. New Nurofen Express works at the source of pain. Fast.
Being a mom is great, but when your child has a fever, you don't know what to do. I trust Nurofen for Children to take care of my child's pain and fever.
Effective relief you can trust.
Season's greetings from FCMB, my bank and I.
Hello? Welcome to the M6 Challenge. Using your new Gioni M6, carry out everything on that list, starting now.
Gioni M6 with a 5,000 milliampere battery that lets you go on for 2 days on a single charge. Gioni M6, always in power.
Would you like some water? It's cold, especially for you.
Which era are you living in? We have a fridge.
When everything else in your house is from the present, then why are your toilet cleaning methods from the past? Harpic, all-in-one for you. Compared to other toilet cleaners, Harpic removes top stains, kills all germs, and removes bad odors for a shining, clean, and fresh toilet.
Wow!
You should also take the Harpic
all-in-one challenge.
The Future Assured project and its components, Get Involved, initiated by the wife of the President, Her Excellency Aisha Muhammadu Buhari, is not relenting in championing the cause of Nigerian women and children. Its provision of free medical screening educational support, and the fight against malnutrition, especially in the Northeast, has indeed informed international recognition, partnerships, and awards.
We are very grateful and appreciative for your wonderful gesture you have accorded to us.
With future assured, Nigerian women and children are assured of a bright future.
Future is assured when we join hands to promote the health of our women and children. Get involved.
Get involved and support the Future Assured initiative. Future Assured, promoting and protecting the lives of Nigerian women and children.
Nigeria joins the rest of the world in going digital. This means Nigeria is moving from analog terrestrial TV broadcasting to digital. Now, digital broadcasting gives you clearer pictures, crystal clear sound, and a chance for more channels and more shows to watch. Digital TV is a whole new experience for you and a rich harvest of digital dividends for the nation. Come aboard, Nigeria going digital. Coming to Abuja soon.
It's that time of the year when we appreciate all those that meant so much to us. Our sponsors, our clients, government at all levels, corporate bodies, advertisers, religious bodies, civil society groups, political parties, business, and above all, you, our esteemed viewer. Together, we made 2016 great. Together, we shall make 2017 even greater. That's why we say thank you. Merry Christmas and prosperous New Year.
This week on Tuesday Live, the 2017 budget proposals, what's in it, and expected benefits.
Chairman, the Senate decided not to confirm the chairman and communicate same to Mr. President, Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, while that of the others was reported or was forwarded. That is, the Senate also decided to refer the other nominees to the Anti-Corruption Committee for screening, since there was no adverse security report on them.
That was Senator Aliyu Sabi Abdullahi, Chairman, Senate Committee on Media and Public Affairs, clarifying that the Senate still stands by its rejection of the nomination of Ibrahim Magu as Economic and Financial Crimes Commission Chairman. The federal government says efforts are underway to contain the reported outbreak of avian influenza known as bird flu in Kano, northwest Nigeria. Musa Babali reports that the Minister of Agriculture and Rural Development, Audu Ogbe, confirmed the outbreak in Abuja.
It was the Kano state government that first alerted the federal government on the suspected cases of the virus in a commercial poultry farm in the state. Investigations conducted by the Veterinary Department of the Federal Ministry of Agriculture confirmed that the virus is H5N8 type of avian influenza, different from the HN51.
Nobody has found a vaccine yet. We're calling a meeting of all the commissioners of agriculture to take measures to control. But we're meeting here to make sure there's no movement of chicken between states.
The Minister of Agriculture says plans are underway to pay all the outstanding compensation of the depopulated birds that were infected with the virus last year.
What we now do is discipline. Farmers are usually not very clean enough on their farms. People use reused bags. Your workers will go keep a poultry behind their house without telling you, and they bring the disease onto your farm, and then all they go, because that's where we have this headache. Nobody has an answer. We're trying to control it as much as possible.
Kano and Lagos State were the first to have cases of bird flu last year, and the flu later spread to over 20 states in the country. In Abuja, Musa Baba Aliyu, NTA News.
Creating sustainable primary healthcare financing was the focus of the second annual Primary Healthcare Service Lecture by the National Primary Healthcare Development Agency. One of the recommendations at the lecture is that immediate appropriation should be provided by the federal, state, and local government areas for the Basic Health Care Provision Fund, as contained in the National Health Act. Health correspondent Rabi Abdullah has the details.
Experts and advocates of health have said at various fora that one of the issues preventing quality healthcare delivery in Nigeria and the achievement of universal health coverage is as a result of the inadequate general government expenditure on health. This is in the face of high out-of-pocket spending on healthcare services. The National Health Act, which had been in existence for the past 3 years but yet to be implemented, represents the first attempt to provide legislative clarification and funding sources to support primary health care. The Minister of Health was represented at the lecture.
There's a need to understand the challenges and possibilities of implementing the appropriate blend of health financing strategies that will underpin our goal of a sustainable primary health care program.
What we have now is an unsustainable, ineffective, and inefficient way of financing the system, an inequitable way. And it will never lead this country to achieve any reasonable health outcomes if we continue this way.
A technical team will be put together to bring out the action points that emanate from this lecture, and a plan of action for implementing the key recommendations will be put in place, and strategy for implementation will be deployed. And we are very optimistic that this will help. It will help Nigeria.
Being the closest to the community, findings show that when primary healthcare systems are strong, they reach every community and can manage as high as 90% of people's diverse health needs. Awards were given to some Nigerians for their contributions and support to primary health care. In Abuja, Rabi Abdallah, NTA News.
In a related health story, Minister of Health Professor Isaac Adewale has confirmed the death of a health practitioner from complications related to Lassa fever in Ogun State. Following the incident, the minister has mandated the National Center for Disease Control to investigate the death and educate the public accordingly. He, however, urges members of the public to seek immediate care in healthcare facilities from symptoms of the disease manifest in anybody, and advise health workers to take necessary precautions while treating patients. To political stories now. The Alliance for Credible Elections has advised INEC to step up efforts on voter education to reduce vote buying and violent tendencies in Nigeria's electoral process. The group's recommendation is part of its final audit report of the 2016 Edo State governorship election. Abdullahi Garba Ben Nkudu reports.
As an election observer group, Alliance for Credible Elections reviewed the Edo governorship election while getting responses from major stakeholders through one-on-one interviews. The outcome of the audit report stressed the need for INEC to keep on improving, particularly in the areas of checking violation of electoral laws.
We are asking for electoral reform that will ensure that these politicians are checked. We're also asking for politicians that to stop in their evil ways and make this country a better place for all of us.
But what do you do when the voter actively solicits for his vote to be bought? I'm not talking about the politician saying, come, I'll buy. I'm saying the voter is actively asking, where are they, who is paying more? That is the trend. How do you legislate on attitudes?
The group advised that special attention be accorded to persons with disabilities during voting, and improvement on simultaneous accreditation and voting, collection of results and privacy of voters. In Abuja, Abdullahi Garba Berunkudu, NTA News.
Inspector General of Police Ibrahim Idris has vowed to bring to book all political violence perpetrators across the nation. It was in a message in reaction to a demand by the National Support Groups for Good Governance, a civil society organization, which staged a protest to the force headquarters in Abuja over the killings of police officers and other civilians in the just concluded legislative rerun elections in Rivers State. Assistant Inspector General of Police Al-Ali Baba Usman represented the Inspector General of Police and received the group. The group says the protest is to prevent subsequent electoral violence, which is also to preserve the nation's democracy from being truncated.
You have just heard that the IG has set up a special investigation team to look into all the cases, which INEC said they have about 70 in record. And anybody who has any useful information or to assist the investigation, he is welcome at any point in time.
The group emphasized their concern and says is born out of a great sense of patriotism to fatherland. For the second time in some months, Kafanchan town in Kaduna State has been placed under 24-hour curfew by the local government following eruption of violence during a peace rally by some youths. Mohammed Abubakar reports.
The peace rally along some major streets in the town in the early hours of Monday was staged to protest the incessant eruption of violence in the area when it suddenly became violent, once again disrupting the relative peace in the area. It took the security operatives a hectic time to disperse the crowd, resulting to the imposition of the curfew by the local government council for fear of escalation. Kaduna State Police Commissioner Agiole Abe, who was among the early callers to assess the situation, who spoke off camera, confirmed the incidents, adding that his men have restored normalcy. He also confirmed that no life was lost, but some people have sustained various degrees of injuries. Kafanchan town and some parts of southern parts of Kaduna State have of recent been in the news owing to some clashes suspected to be sectarian, with some losses in lives and property. In Kaduna, Muhammad Abubakar, NTA News.
Zamfara State Governor has reaffirmed his government's commitment towards ending the activities of armed bandits in the state. He stated this when he received the General Officer commanding one division of the Nigerian Army, Major General A. Oyebode, in his office. Jamil Ibrahim reports.
The GOC-1 Division Kaduna, Major General A. Oyebode was in Zamfara State to coordinate the ongoing dialogue between the suspected armed bandits and the outlawed vigilante group Ensakai initiated by the state government. Receiving the GOC, Governor Abdulaziz Yahya Abubakar reaffirmed his government's resolved commitment to ending the activities of armed bandits in the state within the shortest possible time.
No matter what we did, in the end of the day, definitely we have to come back to each other and discuss and put this matter to rest. Because we can, as we know, we cannot take the security to each and every household.
Earlier, the GOC-1 Division Kaduna, Major General Oyebode, expressed satisfaction with the ongoing peace process and expressed confidence that it will be a huge success. The general, who condemned the act of killing innocent people under the pretense of reprisal attacks, called on religious leaders to always guide their subjects to be law-abiding.
The states to overcome challenges of the banditry, cattle rustling, and the Yankasai group, and so far we're making progress in that regard.
In Gusau, Jamil Ibrahim, NTA News.
The United Nations in December 2005 identified solidarity as one of the fundamental and universal values that should be the cardinal point of human relationships. Consequently, 20th December every year was declared as an International Human Solidarity Day to raise awareness on the importance of collective solutions towards the eradication of poverty and diseases across the globe. Chikunonso Nwabwezi has this report.
People like me don't know about the program and what it is all about.
This is my first time hearing this from NTA.
Though it's the 11th anniversary, the International Human Solidarity Day, a day set aside by the United Nations to rally global partnership in addressing the issues of poverty, hunger, as well as diseases in developing countries of the world, seems new to some residents of Abuja, Nigeria's capital city. However, at a time of obvious divisions on many key global issues, the need to build a formidable cooperation among Committee of Nations becomes imperative.
Poverty is a gross human rights violation, and there's no country of the world that will sit down and close its eyes and see its people's rights being violated because of poverty. And in Nigeria, we have National Social Investment Program set up by the present administration to see that poverty is to some extent eradicated.
On this special occasion, it is important that we echo from the Lions family that individuals, corporations, organizations should help government and should help humanity. When we do so, our world will become better.
As this year's International Human Solidarity Day is marked globally, with more than 300 million people living on less than $2 a day in sub-Saharan Africa, many say efforts to end extreme poverty in the world should be intensified. In Abuja, Chukunonso Nwabueze, NTA News.
Ademola Adeoye in our Lagos Network Center has more on NTA Network News. Hello, Demola. Over to you.
Thank you, Kudu, and let me quickly congratulate you on your turbaning as the Damasani of Nupe. Congratulations. And now to the news. The Nigerian Port Authority NPA has rewarded its staff who have served the organization with dedication spanning 25 to 30 years. Jane Ojuko reports that the Long Service Award ceremony, which held in Lagos, afforded the organization an opportunity to appreciate the recipients for their meritorious service and also spur them to do more.
It was an award presentation galore as over 660 members of staff of the Nigerian Ports Authority, NPA, were awarded. Managing Director NPA, Hadiza Usman, who was represented by Director of Finance and Administration, Mohammed Bello Koko, noted that cargo throughput had increased significantly from 45 million tons to 78 million tons, following the concession exercise and port infrastructure improvement. This, she explained, resulted in an increase in revenue generation. This achievement and many others recorded by the organization, she said, are attributable to the highly dedicated and experienced workforce.
We realize that it is important to improve staff morale and ensure that this award takes place every year. So what we have just done is for 2012 and 2013, we'll make sure that every year this long service award takes place.
In the last 5 years, this kind of event has not happened. But under the able leadership of Hadiza Bala Usman as Managing Director, this event has come to pass.
Some of the award recipients shared their joy.
This award is going to spur me, to work harder, to be more loyal to the organization, and to work for the productivity and betterment of the organization.
The management of the MPA pledged to make the award ceremony an annual event. In Lagos, Jane Ojuku, NTA News.
You're still on to NTA Network News, reaching you live from Lagos Network Center. We have more reports ahead on the news from Abuja when we return after this time out. Please stay tuned.
This must be one of Mother Nature's greatest gifts. But there's something else it gives us. When we see such beauty, we want to share it with those we love. That's what LG wants you to see. Just what we see now, through our technology. LG OLED TV.
My daughter, you are a star. May you be the secret ingredients that makes a happy home.
Maggi Star, made from natural soybeans and other carefully selected ingredients, prepared in a way only Maggi knows. That's why for generations, Maggi Star has been the secret that brings out the rich taste and aroma in local soups. With Maggi, every woman is a star.
Nestle, good food, good life.
Hello? Welcome to the M6 Challenge. Using your new Gioni M6, carry out everything on that list, starting now. Get to the door. Congratulations, you have passed the test. Gioni M6 with a 5,000 milliamp battery that lets you go on for 2 days on a single charge. Gioni M6, always in power.
Nigerians. Suicide bombers are not spirits. They are not ghosts. They are human beings like you and me. They live amongst us. They are your neighbors. They are your friends today, but terrorists tomorrow. So you must know your neighbor now. Security begins with you and me. Know your neighbor. Be vigilant. Be security conscious. Report suspicious persons, objects, and movements to the police and other security agencies. The security of our nation is a duty for you and me.
If you see something,
Say something. Nigeria, unite against terrorism. This message is brought to you by the Federal Ministry of Information and Culture.
In life, there are many distractions, but the future is always created by those who can focus on the goal. Techno Phantom 6 with dual back camera and adjustable focusing technology. Never say it, show it.
Thank you for remaining with NTA Network News. Nigeria is taking leadership in negotiations for the Continent Free Trade Agreement. Let's join Moplang Dakok for these and other reports on business news.
Glad to have you join us. The total value of Nigeria's external trade in the third quarter of 2016 was 4,721.9 billion naira. The figure released by the National Bureau of Statistics shows that the value of exported agricultural products rose by 5.30%. Solid minerals exports grew by 220.96%. Crude oil exports rose by 30.86%, while imported raw materials was higher by 32.05%. Still on trade, Nigeria is taking leadership in negotiations for the Continental Free Trade Agreement to be finalized in 2017.
The purpose and priorities of Nigeria's trade policies and negotiations. It's simply to seek an expanded market access in West Africa, in Africa, and in the global economy. Secondly, to connect our domestic manufacturers and services suppliers to value chains, to establish information, communication, and technology hubs.
The Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, is set to put a system in place to eliminate the parallel market, otherwise known as black market, in foreign exchange trading. Minister of Finance Kemi Adeosun, who made this known, said the CBN has been directed to eliminate the black market because it is damaging to the economy. The Naira currently trades at 490 to $1. That's where we wrap it up on business news. Please stay tuned for the rest of the news. I am Moplang Dak.
Thank you, Moplang. Dry season farming has received a boost in Niger State with the distribution of irrigation pumps and other inputs to farmers in Wushishi headquarters of Wushishi local government area of the state. The items were distributed by the State Fadama office when it flagged off the 2016-2017 dry season farming in the state. Mohammed Doma reports.
1,200 farmers are to participate in the 2016-2017 dry season farming in the state this year, with the aim of promoting all year-round farming among farmers. The National Fadama Coordinator, Mr. Tayo Adewumi, said agriculture is the backbone of every nation's economy. Mr. Adewumi said the country has no option than to give agriculture necessary support because of the dwindling revenue from the oil, and called on the State Fadama Coordination Office to increase the number of participating farmers in the dry season farming. The State Commissioner for Agriculture and Rural Development, Alhaji Aliu Abdullahi, said government has identified 17 viable irrigation centers in the state, adding that 10,000 units of power tillers are to be purchased and distributed to cooperative societies next year by the state government. The State Fadama Coordinator, Ali Usman Kutigi, commended the support of the state government and participating local governments to the program.
Irrigation is the answer to our agricultural development.
Must grow Nigerian agriculture for self-sustenance and for international markets.
My advice to the farmers is to advise them to make use of this opportunity that we are granting them.
We've got a lot of things that we are using for our machines.
We want them to utilize them.
But we thank God, we thank them, we thank Fadama.
We handle this thing, we'll keep it in a proper place.
Highlight of the occasion was the turbaning of the National Fadama Coordinator Tayo Akiwumi as the Wakili Noma Fadama by the representative of the Chief of Wushishi, Alhaji Usman Aliu Mayaki Wushishi, Mbidda, Mohammed Doma, NTA News.
We'll bring you more stories, but after this break, after which we will bring you global tidbits, sports news, and Wednesday's weather prospects. Don't go away.
The production